In this section, we're going to look at units of measurement and how to convert between different units. Now, anytime we deal with numerical values, whether in business, personal finance, or science, it's important that we're clear about units of measurement. For example, let's compare the height of the elephant and the mouse in this picture. Obviously, the elephant is taller, but I could say that both the mouse and the elephant have a height of 3. The key here is the unit. The mouse has a height of 3 inches, while the elephant has a height of 3 meters. But if I wanted to compare the height of the two, I would need to be using the same units for both. That is, I would need to convert units from one form to another. To understand how unit conversions are done, let's begin with a simple example. A copper pellet is found to have a mass of 230 milligrams. What is this mass in grams? Now, if you're familiar with grams and milligrams, you may be able to do this conversion in your head without much trouble. However, you will soon run into situations where you have to do conversions between units which are less familiar and less intuitive. And so we need to have a systematic approach to this type of problem so that when we get out of familiar territory, we can still be able to solve these and know that we've done them correctly. In order to do this, let's think about what we're trying to do. We are trying to convert our units from milligrams to grams. Now, the relationship between milligrams and grams is that there are 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram. Now, these two quantities are equal. So we could write this a couple of different ways. We could change this equation around and say 1 gram over 1,000 milligrams. Numerator and the denominator have the same value, so that's equal to 1. We could also flip it over the other way and say 1 is equal to 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram. These two expressions, 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram or 1 gram over 1,000 milligrams, are both equal to 1, and they're what we call conversion factors for converting from one unit to another. Here's how we're going to use this. I'm going to begin this problem with my starting value, 230 milligrams. I'm going to say, okay, I have 230 milligrams, and to get that to grams, I'm going to multiply by one of these two conversion factors. I'm going to choose the one that allows me to cancel out the milligrams and keep the grams. In order to do this, I'm going to need the one on the right, where grams is in the numerator and milligrams is in the denominator. So 1 gram per 1,000 milligrams. I can then cancel the milligrams out, and I get an answer of 0.230 grams. Whatever you do to the numbers, you can also do to the units, so we can cancel just like we can cancel in cross division. Let's try another one. How many inches are in 320 centimeters? In order to solve this one, I need to know the relationship between inches and centimeters. Well, there are 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. Now, based on this, we could write two conversion factors. We could write 2.54 centimeters per 1 inch, or we could write 1 inch per 2.54 centimeters. In order to solve this problem, we're going to take our starting value, which is 320 centimeters, and we're going to multiply it by one of these two conversion factors. So 320 centimeters times, and again, I want to select the conversion factor that allows me to get to the unit I'm going to, which is inches. So I'm going to select this one with inches in the numerator. So I'm going to write 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters. Now, when I do that, my centimeters cancel, and I end up with a value of approximately 126 inches. Let's try another one. How many picometers are in 320 centimeters? Now, for this problem, I need to get from centimeters to picometers. Now, off the top of my head, I don't have a ready term to relate those two, but I do know how many centimeters are in a meter, and I know how many picometers are in a meter. So I'm going to write this as two terms. I'm going to do two conversions. The two relationships that I have are there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter, and there are 10 to the 12th picometers in 1 meter. So let's try this. I'm going to start with 320 centimeters. I'm going to first go to meters. So I'm going to select the unit that allows me to keep the meters and cancel the centimeters. So I'm going to write this as 1 meter over 100 centimeters because then I can cancel the centimeters. Next, I want to convert to picometers. To do this, I'm going to use the second relationship, and I'm going to put 10 to the 12th picometers in the numerator and meters, 1 meter, in the denominator. So again, I cancel out. Now, anytime you do a multi-step calculation like this, you're going to simply multiply any numbers in the numerator, divide any numbers in the denominator. So I'm going to do this as 320 times 10 to the 12th divided by 100, which gives me 3.2 times 10 to the 12th picometers. Let's try one more. In air, sound waves travel at 1,130 feet per second. How fast is this in miles per hour? So in order to answer this question, we need to take our units from feet per second to miles per hour. We need to change the numerator term and the denominator term. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to do this one piece at a time. I'm going to first change my feet to miles, but keep the seconds. And then in the second step, I'm going to change the seconds to hours. Now, I do need the relationships between these two. I remember from elementary school that there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Furthermore, there are 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, so there are 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. Those are our two relationships. Now, we're going to begin with the number we were given, 1,130 feet per second. I'm going to multiply this by a conversion factor. First of all, I want to get my feet to miles, so I'm going to say I get 1 mile for every 5,280 feet. That allows me to cancel my feet, and I'm now in units of miles per second. In the second step, I want to change the denominator from seconds to hours. So I'm going to put hours in the denominator, and seconds this time goes in the numerator so that I can cancel seconds here and seconds here. Well, it was 3,600 seconds per 1 hour. And now I think I've got my units correct. I've got miles left on the top, hours left on the bottom. Again, I'm going to multiply all the terms on top, divide all the terms on bottom. So 1,130 feet times 3,600 seconds divided by 5,280 gives me 770 miles per hour. Finally, I encourage you to do a lot of practice problems. These conversions are not difficult, but they do require practice, and you will encounter a lot of situations in chemistry where you need to be able to do this type of conversion. Being comfortable with this style of unit conversion will be a great benefit to you as you move forward.